Welcome back again today, friends. We're going to be cooking up some fun festive food today in honor of Cinco de Mayo, and of course it happens to also fall on Taco Tuesday, so it seems like a great idea to sort of combine those things. And we're going to do that using some of these really beautiful 2630 Texas brown shrimp. These are gorgeous shrimp, really sweet, great texture. So we're going to have a lot of fun, cook up some good food today, and we're going to do kind of a unique take on a taco, somewhere in between a taco and a quesadilla, but should be a lot of fun. So we're gonna go ahead and get that rolling. So first things first, I've got my shrimp all cleaned already. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my pan started here. Let's get this gas going. See if it wants to go. There we go. All right, pan is on, so we're gonna let that start to get warm. Got a little bit of oil here. So we're gonna basically start our filling first. So just a little bit of vegetable oil, I don't need a lot. We're just gonna kind of saute off some shrimp. And we're gonna do that along with some shaved onion that I did here. I just got some basic red onion that I've shaved pretty thinly. And I'm gonna add this to my pan and let this start sort of cooking down a little bit. And while this goes, we're gonna get all of our other stuff kind of prepped. Again, the shrimp are already cleaned and deveined, but we're gonna make kind of a special taco. I'm gonna fry the taco and I'm gonna put some cheese on the outside and get that nice and crispy. And for that, we're gonna use this really cool red Leicester that we just started carrying. This is really great, it's available on our website. This is a delicious cheese, really, really, really good. Red Leicester is obviously an English style cheese. Similar to cheddar, it's got that nice bite and that nice tang, but a little bit different, a little bit more complex really. So really good stuff. So this is what we're gonna use kind of to help highlight our shrimp. So I've got those onions cooking. I'm gonna hit them with just a little bit of salt, because I want these to soften up first before the shrimp goes in. So let's go ahead and just season those up just a touch. And while that goes, I'm going to make a very simple pico de gallo. We did something like this pretty recently, but I'm going to go ahead and make another one just because it's kind of perfect for this sort of thing. So I've got some tomatoes here that I'm just going to kind of cut in half. Ooh, these are some juicy tomatoes. And I'm just going to sort of cut, and I'm just going to cube these up into nice little chunks. And again, you can go kind of as rustic or as fancy as you want here. So we've got nice cut here. And those onions are starting to soften up nicely, I can see. This is exactly what we want. I'm going to take my tomato, scoop it up, put it into my dish. Get these going. Oh yeah, it's starting to look real nice. And I will add my shrimp to that shortly, as soon as I finish cutting up this tomato here. Well, it smells good already. Just caramelizing onions, I love. We see those debates a lot out there on what is a caramelized onion. Does it take 45 minutes to caramelize an onion? And it's interesting. We just had this debate in the Facebook group recently. Let's see here, make sure we're still going. Yeah, no cheese with seafood. That's an interesting thing. I think there are definitely, just like any good rule, there are exceptions to the rule. So my onions are looking good. I'm gonna throw it in. And I think these tacos are a great exception to the rule. I mean, I'm sure you've all had some really great fish tacos, things like that before, that have had cheese. And again, it's a great thing. There's nothing wrong with that. If you like cheese with seafood, do it. Again, it's just, there's a time and a place for everything, I think. And these tacos are definitely a place to make this all happen, as you will see here shortly. So we're gonna get this all prepped up. Got my tomato, looking real good here. That shrimp, oh. These Texas brown shrimp are super beautiful and super flavorful. They're just really, really, really good. And the smell coming off them, they got that nice, just beautiful shrimpiness going on. That's absolutely fantastic. so good. And these aren't super big shrimp, so they cook up pretty quick. You know, just get that nice and tossed. And again, I clean them, I butterfly them so I can see when they open up, which is great because I can see inside of the shrimp and know kind of when they're ready to be done. So I've got my tomatoes here. Hold on one second while I shut the door. And I'm going to add some diced onion to this as well, along with, got some jalapeno here I'm going to mince up. It's just always nice to have kind of a fresh salsa to go along with something like this. So a little pico to top it off, give it a little bit of heat, a little bit of added dimension, some freshness, because again, we're going to have a lot of fried cheese here. And you want to be able to cut through that fried cheese with something nice and fresh like this. Mix it down like so. Add this to our pico. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with a little bit more salt, like so, and some fresh lime. And then I'm just going to let this sit and marinate while we continue to work on our tacos. There we go. Nice and coated with the lime juice there. Let's get this good and tossed together. You could throw a little cilantro in here if you wanted to as well. Again, just anything to kind of brighten it up. If you don't have regular jalapenos, you can use some pickled jalapenos. And we've just got a nice, fresh kind of pico here to go on top. So something real nice there. Got our shrimp working. That's just about done. Tossed together with those onions. Again, really, really nice. Perfect. Those are just about cooked through. I'm going to give them just another quick minute. Now, as far as the cheese goes, I've got it already shredded here. I shredded this myself earlier, and this is going to be perfect. And we're going to do something here that is a little potentially unorthodox for you, but it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to like this. So I'm going to take my shrimp out and my onions right onto my board, because I'm going to mince these up a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of clean up my pan, because we're going to need a clean pan for this. I'm going to get my onions out. I'm going to turn my heat down quite a bit, because you're going to want a softer heat for what we're about to do here. So I'm going to kind of wipe this down. In fact, I'm going to let my pan just sort of chill out for a minute and kind of cool down. And while that happens, I'm just going to kind of rough mince my shrimp. You could do this ahead of time, but I find that leaving them bigger allows me to get a little bit of char on them before I cut them down. So I like to leave them big while I saute them, and then kind of just give them a little rough chop afterwards and toss them together with those caramelized onions there. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful. So this is going to make a really nice filling for these tacos. The other thing I've got some flour tortillas here. Let's pull out. Again, I like to use flour for this. You could use some corn tortillas. It's going to be kind of your preference. All right, so now that this pan is cooled down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cheese into this dry pan. You need a good non-stick for this, mind you. And I'm going to throw my cheese right down into this pan. And I'm going to let it start getting melty. Now this is mostly that red Leicester that I talked about before, which is just a really great cheese. But then I also use some of that pepper jack, the same stuff that we use for the tuna melt, and I put that in here as well. So I've got kind of a spicy mix of cheeses, and this is look great. I'm just pushing this quesadilla down on top of that cheese, because I want that cheese to melt and stick to that quesadilla, and I also want that cheese to caramelize and get crispy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the cheese, put that on top here as well, so that can start getting nice and melty and gooey. Not necessarily as much, just a little bit. Perfect. these are gonna be extra cheesy like I promised. So now that I've got that in there, I'm gonna go ahead and add some shrimp to one side because we're gonna fold it over. So I want cheese on both sides because that cheese is gonna start to melt, which is gonna be really nice. But I want just the shrimp on the one side. Now what's happening is that cheese is getting nice and gooey and melty, which is perfect. And some of that oil is coming out from that cheese, which is starting to kind of fry that tortilla also. So we're getting a little double action here, which is really nice. And it's just super gooey. You're gonna see how good this looks here shortly. Just trying to fry it off. This would work really great if you had one of those non-stick griddles at home. Those are pretty convenient for this sort of thing. So you got any questions? Yeah. Again, this is gonna be a really nice, fresh little taco. I'm very, very excited. You could fill this with some other stuff too if you wanted. If you had some leftover, say Spanish rice, you could put that in here and kind of fill it out. Again, we're sort of looking somewhere in between like a quesadilla and a taco here. That's gonna be really, really good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with one side, I'm gonna scoop up that cheese and that taco shell. I'm gonna flip that on there and make sure I've got this nice cheesy crust, which is gonna be beautiful on here. And I'm gonna continue to let it fry on one side a little bit more, and then I'm gonna flip it and do the other side. So again, we're getting a nice, just fried tortilla, completely coated with cheese. Yeah, this is gonna be beautiful. Did a little test of this morning. It was super delicious. You might have seen I did a little post of that to our story. Again, super fun, very delicious. Go ahead and flip this over. Now let me show you here what this looks like. You can see that tortilla and all that cheese that's crisped and crusted to the top of that. That, friends, is delicious. It's gonna be super crunchy, super crispy, super cheesy, exactly what we want. So again, just gotta be a little patient with it. Again, the cheese into a pan, I imagine, gives some people some hesitation, but it does work. Just gotta be a little bit patient. And it's so crispy. I mean, you can hear, can you hear that? That's how crispy that cheese is on the outside. So nice. I hope you can hear that. Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead, remove this one from the pan, set it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and make one more. And to do that, I'm just gonna wipe out the oil that's sort of accumulated in here. So we've got more than enough. And I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. Again, cheese down all around the pan, like so. Let that start getting melty and gooey. And I'm using like a perfect 10-inch skillet here, so it's perfect for one of these tortillas. It's exactly the right size. And I'm gonna push this tortilla down on top of that and just start letting that fry, which is gonna be great. And on the top with some more. Again, this is that red Leicester mixture along with some of that pepper jack that we used the other day. Really, these are really nice cheeses and they are available on our website. We've got that really awesome brie up there as well. So if you haven't checked out our cheese selection yet, definitely do so. And we're gonna have some more cool stuff coming this week too, but this cheese is really great for this. It just gets so crispy and kind of lacy on the outside of the tortilla. Again, absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this more shrimp on top of the quesadilla here, or taco. Like I said, we're kind of doing some kind of hybrid thing, but it's so delicious. So, so, so delicious. Go ahead, get this well nice and topped, and let that continue to fry off just a little bit. Got a little salsa here that I'll get ready as well to go along with our pico. This is going to be nice. Just good stuff all around. Again, the smell of that cheese melting, unbelievable, friends, unbelievable. So I got my hot sauce, I got my pico, I got my really amazing shrimp kind of taco quesadillas going on here. There we are. Yeah. Flip that over. Absolutely beautiful. Let that cheese fry. Really nice. Oh, again, it's so crispy. I'm excited to share this with all of you. Again, just unbelievable. Packed full of all that shrimp. Again, it's really nice, really beautiful shrimp. Just so, so, so good. The cheese is getting good and crispy. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Okay. Remove this. Uh-oh, this one wants to come open because I filled it too much. So let's grab this one here, bring this out, and just let it, when you pull this out, you're going to want to let it kind of sit and let that cheese sort of re-harden, because again, we just melted it. So you want it to get nice and crisp, so just give it a second to kind of hang out and relax. And it'll be very, very good. Worth the wait, I promise. So, let's go ahead, get ourselves a plate, and let's get this all dressed up. So I will go ahead and just cut these in half. Again, let's look at the cross section we've got going on there. The cheese is not burning. You have to use a lower heat here. You don't want to use too high a heat because you want that cheese to melt and stick to the tortilla like this. You can see just how crispy that is. So again, a little bit lower, kind of medium to medium low heat, and give it as much time as it needs to kind of stick and adhere. You can hear, hold on, I got my last little piece of shrimp that's cooking in my pan. So let's move this off the side. And hopefully you can kind of hear as I cut into this, that just crunch. It's so awesome. Go ahead, stack this up on our plate, like so. Just make it look nice and festive. Again, that's what we're going for. We're going for nice and festive. A little white down. So now, what we're gonna do, once I get everything situated the way I want, like so. Wipe out some of that extra oil there. Go ahead and sprinkle with a little pico. Let's get this a little bit better into the shot here. So we'll go ahead and dress this with a little pico right over, like so. Again, this is going to bring all that bright, fresh flavor to the party, which is going to go well with all this fried cheese and shrimp. Just absolutely beautiful. And we'll go ahead, hit it with a little of our hot sauce here. Just drizzle this around. This is going to be so good. If this doesn't scream party, I don't know what does. So got that. And lastly, I've got some sliced radish here, just regular red radish that I've sort of thinly sliced. And I'll just garnish kind of with that sort of around the plate as well. Just a little added texture, a little added crunch. Again, just beautiful. And there we go. Again, you could garnish this with fresh cilantro as well if you wanted. You can see, really nice, you can see into this top one there, you can see all that beautiful shrimp. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. This is an incredible plate of food. It doesn't take long. Again, you just watch me make it all from scratch, and just really beautiful. This is a great party plate. I hope you give it a try, just like everything else we make. But I hope you're also celebrating safely, continuing to eat well. Again, we're here to help you with that. We've got all the different seafoods, obviously. We've got all the different cheeses. Definitely check out our website to learn more about the cheeses. Or go to our delivery site, Mercado, check that out. All that information is up there. Again, there's a lot of good stuff. We've got this red Leicester that we use. We got the pepper jack that we used here that we also use for our tuna melt. We've got the brie available. And these are good cheeses, friends. Really, really good. So again, thanks for tuning in. Again, hopefully make this. Love to see you cook it up, take pictures, share it to social, tag us. We love it when you tag us in your pictures and we see what you're making. I try to share those to our stories and stuff as well. So super cool. Otherwise, check back tomorrow. We'll have some more fun stuff for you, and we'll have some cooler stuff even later in the week. So pay attention, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.